Hey, what's going on, party people? This your man Griff here. Doing another video. It's about, I guess, 8:15 tonight. About 8:15. On the 27th, and wow, today has been real interesting. Hope I don't get any kind of phone calls or anything while we're chatting here, but that's what's been happening every time I try to get on the thing to do a video, which is good because that means that's business coming in for me. Um, but this video is about something I already talked about, but I want to talk about it again because I think there's something to be said about it. And it's again about those last minute signings. Tonight I had a 4 o'clock appointment, sitting home waiting on the docs. Me and the wife, we just sitting there chit chatting, just talking about life and everything. And all of a sudden, order comes in for ASAP. I said, okay. I said, well, I can do this forward, then I can probably do them later on this evening. I take the order. It's for 110, no problem. I take, I knock it out a little bit later on. Well, come to find out, and this was at 3:55. And now, if you notice what I'm saying, I had a 4 o'clock, and at 3:55, I still didn't have my documents. So really, at that point, I was like, I'm probably not going to do that closing tonight because documents aren't there. I'm sitting there refreshing, nothing's showing up in the queue for the documents. So I said, well, the 4 o'clock is for 125. I need to do something to make some money. I had one earlier. I think that one was 100. So I was like, I need to do something. It's not my daily minimum that I want a 500, but it's better than nothing. So I said, let me just go on and take this. Now, here's the thing. This industry, as I said, is a very last minute industry. And sometimes what make things last minute are notaries. How is that? Well, coming to find out, the notary that I ended up doing the closing for supposed to have met the people at 2:30. For whatever reason, they didn't show. For whatever reason, they didn't call and inform the people. They didn't call and tell them, hey, I'm not showing. And it appears that they did not let the signing company know, because had the signing company known, the people wouldn't have been waiting that long to figure out, hey, to see, okay, well, the notary's not showing. So here it is, 3:55, and I'm getting a phone call to say, hey, can you go and take care of this here order? Or not even a phone call, the order came out and was looking for somebody. I said, yes, I'll do it, and they gave it to me. Now, I'll be honest, when situations like that happen, I want to know what the heck is going on. So when I got there, I asked, I said, did the notary call you and then, and introduce themselves to confirm that they was coming today? They said, yeah, they called this morning and said they'll be there at 2:30. And when 2:30 came, they didn't show up, and we didn't hear anything from them. We didn't, nothing. So I'm like, okay, that is not good. And again, as I said in my other video about this, when notaries do that, it hurts us, because let's say if you're a brand new notary and you do that, it can make that company a little skittish toward other notaries. And I know people will argue against that and say, oh, no, it won't, dot, dot, dot. You never know, because all these signing companies are different. They got different temperaments. They got different people running them, especially if you have a person who's running the signing company and it's just a mom and pop. It's just them. And they're like, you know, every time a notary cancels, that makes them look bad, that they had to go find another notary. So it means that you don't have reliable notaries. That's how it looks. So therefore, if I'm a business and the people who I'm asking to do this, and then when I look at their profile, okay, you've been in this less than 6 months, you only got 25,000 in E&O insurance, you just don't seem like you're really all that serious, because you're doing this, this is the third time you've done this to me, or you did this first time, and then when I called and asked you what's going on, you had no real reason. You just, oh, I forgot, oh, I got busy, Another signing came up. I mean, all kinds of stuff like that. And then I can make them a little skittish toward a brand new notary. Now it does me good because having done almost 700, which to me is still a little bit compared to other notaries that I know that have got 2,500, 5,000 plus, I think I'm still a baby in this whole thing, okay, honestly. But they said, okay, Griff got $1 million in insurance. He got 700 under his belt. Okay, guys like that, I can rely on. That's the plus for me. But I get concerned because I think it can hurt the new notaries. Listen, if you're not going to take this business serious, bow out. It doesn't do anybody any good if you're not going to do some of the basic things. And I know somebody's saying right now, well, they could have had an emergency. You're right. They could have had an emergency. But it's very important, and it's part of what we agree to. It's even in the notary training that if you with the NNA, it talks about that you contact. So if you're running late, you're at a signing and you're running late from that one to get to the next one, you do double check your work and then you call the next person and say, hey, I'm running late. I have text messages. You can do text messages. I mean, even if you're doing it, you could, at least on my phone, I can actually set up for my text message to be sent out before, without me even hitting the button. I can set a date and time. So sometimes when I'm in a signing and I can clearly see, okay, this is going to be a little bit longer, I'll gin up a quick text message, set a time. Okay, I normally will be there at 4, but I'm gonna have to let them know at quarter till, hey, I'm running late. And it automatically sends at 3:45, and then boom. And then I get a reply back, okay, thank you for letting us know, dot, dot, dot. There hasn't been a time that I can think of when I haven't told the customer that I'm running late and why I'm running late that they haven't shown understanding. They're like, oh, okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know. They give me the thumbs up, all of that. But as a notary, you cannot abandon people like that. You gotta call them. You gotta just take time out and call them and say, hey, this is what's going on. Thank you very much. I'm gonna get there as soon as I can, or I need to bow out, contact the signing company, let them know, and all of that. But that's the kind of stuff that's not happening sometimes. And that's why I said, if you really want to know what kind of person you are when it comes to being a notary, do some last minute signings. And you'll find now how good you are. Because there are a lot of people who come across very professional when it comes to notary. There's a lot of guys that I come across, oh man, they this astute, that astute. You throw them in there at the last minute. I mean, literally, the order came in at 3:55. 4 o'clock, I'm calling the customer. 4:36, I'm at their house. 5:35, basically an hour later, I'm out. And the only reason why it took an hour, because we had to get a few questions answered that I had an idea that what it was, but I had to call and get clarification just to make sure. And this was a Florida property, and in Florida they require 2 witnesses, and I had to verify that just to make sure. And they said yes. And fortunately, they had 2 witnesses there that didn't have the same last name as them, and they was able to do that. And that took about 10-15 minutes to get rectified. So basically, I could have been done in 45 minutes. So I got there at 4:36. I could have been done by 4:20. I mean 5:20. I could have been in and out, but it was a little bit of delay. But I still got it done within an hour. I challenge you as a notary, once for this upcoming month, for the month of December, do at least one last minute signing a week, so you can really see what you're made of. I think you can handle it. I really, really do. When I first started this, there was none of this, oh, I'm not going to do no last minute signing. It was, I'm doing signings. That's what it was. I'm doing signings. Nobody told me that, oh, you're not supposed to do last minute signings. You shouldn't want to do last minute signings. You should want your signings to come 3 weeks ahead of time so you can sit there and play with the documents and massage them and all that. And guess what? You can have all the you can be a have the appointment booked all you want. If I don't have the documents at least 3 days ahead of time, to me that's last minute. Even if it's a day ahead of time, I'm okay. But if you really think about it, you can be booked for stuff. I'm booked for stuff for next week. But will I get the documents ahead of time so that I can review them? Might not. And if that's the case, how can you say you don't want to do last minute signings? Because a last minute sign, to me, if you book me 3 weeks ahead of time, 2 weeks ahead of time, 3 days ahead of time, but you can't get me the documents until 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours before the signing, and most companies say you'll get the documents within 2 hours of the signing. To me, that's sort of last minute, especially if I'm doing 4 or 5 signings a day, and you're sending me documents 2 hours prior, and I'm already out doing a closing, and now I got to run all the way back home. To me, that's late too. But try doing a signing next month that you had not scheduled. Try one after you've been out for a couple of hours doing signings, and then you get home, start taking your clothes off, getting ready to chill, and an order comes in, and you're like, man, if I take that order, that'll give me 400-500 for this week. Take it and see what you're made of. I think you can do it. It's not as hard as you think. There's nothing to be afraid of. But what you don't want to be is the notary who doesn't let the people know, oh, something came up and I can't make it. So you got a choice. You be good at being last minute notary that can handle that kind of pressure, or I keep taking orders, but I ain't showing up. And I have a legit reason why I can't show up, but I won't call anybody and tell them because I don't want them thinking negative of me. But they're going to think real negative of you because here it is an hour at 3:30, 3:45, the notary ain't here, and the customer's like, where's the notary at? So don't be that person. Please don't be that person. If you can't be organized, just bow out. Just bow out. Just give the loan signing up. Stay a notary, but just leave the mortgage stuff alone. Because let's be real, you're playing with people's money. You're playing with people's lives. There's people pulling money out of their house because they need that to live on for the next couple of months because of this pandemic. There's people who are refinancing because they know maybe in a couple of months they might lose their job or their spouse might lose their job and their income's going to get cut in half or more. And then here you are playing around and not showing up, playing around taking orders, double booking yourself and not showing up, not even calling them to let them know. That ain't right. I mean, if something push came to shove for me, a lot of times I'll call one of my notary buddies, ask them, hey, are you available? And then I contact the signing company and say, hey, can you give it to this person or that person? They're already ready to go. They're set. All you got to do is give them a call and they'll do it. You already got them in your database because they've done work for you before. And unless you have a problem with them, then I get it that you don't call them. But we got somebody right here. Y'all know I'm reliable and I only deal with reliable people. So give them a shot. And that's one of the ways I help new notaries out. If something came up and I can't do it, or somebody calls me and say, hey, can you do it? And I'm booked, I refer them to other notaries. Now, a lot of times they just ignore me and they won't give them a call. But what it does is it puts a bug in their ear so that when that notary does reply the next time to their order and say, hey, I'm available, they're like, oh, that's the person that Griff talked about. Yeah, that's the one that Griffin Notary said they wanted us to use. Maybe we give them a try. Let's give them a try this time. So that's what I do for other notaries in the area, okay? But You cannot, oh my goodness, you cannot keep bailing on people because you're messing with people's money. You're messing with people's lives. I'm serious. The notary, we are the last line of defense to make sure those documents get done accurately and correctly. And people are depending on us. And you got folk out here who they got an order for 110. Somebody offers them 125, and then they drop the 110 and go running to that one. That crap is wrong. I'm sorry. I'm trying to cut this video off, y'all, but it's making me angry the more I think about it, because you just can't do people that way, because these same folk will sit there and fuss over some French fries in McDonald's, or I couldn't get 3 Polynesian sauces at Chick-fil-A, and they ready to go daggone rampant all through the daggone store over some Polynesian sauce. They'll be the same ones. The same ones that'll be sitting up there fussing because the ATM machine ain't working, or the car swipe machine ain't working at Walmart, or whatever the case may be, or they one day late with their return and Walmart won't give them a refund, or Target and all that kind of stuff. They're the same people who do that and then turn around and act like they just ghost. I ain't showing up to the order. This one paying me 110. The other one's gonna pay me only 80. I ain't going to that. They'll be all right. No, that ain't what we do, people. That ain't what we do. We're professionals here, okay? So I made a great connection with those people. They was very appreciative. They asked for my card. I gave them my card. And all they know is this. This guy came and took care of us when the other person wouldn't. So if they ever have another notary need, who you think they're going to call? When you help people out in a time of need, in a crisis situation, they will look out for you. The loan officer called. He was like, hey, I just wanted to make sure everything was on point. I said, sir, it's already printed. And see, I got 2 printers, so I ran with, I had them pages print. I called them at 4 by 4:15. I was done printing. I got the documents a little bit after 4. By 4:15, I was done printing because I printed on both printers. The loan officer called right after I finished printing, checking, told him it's all done, I'm gonna take him. And I even told him, I said, hey, remember me for your next orders if anything come up, because I'm taking good care of y'all. And he said, oh, no problem, man, no problem. Maybe he just talking. But I said, also, I'm an e-notary in case you ever need anything done online. See, this is the time you get to sell yourself. That's why it's okay to do last minute signings, because now you get a chance to shine. You get a chance to let them people know what you're made of, that you are reliable, you're dependable, and that you can get in there in the heat of the moment and get this thing done. That's how I became good. That's why I call myself the #1 notary in Hampton Roads. I know it's a little braggadocious, but because I'm willing to go out there and do it, when you got so many other notaries who won't go 2 blocks from their house, who won't go out after 7 o'clock at night, who, if it's before 10 o'clock in the morning, I ain't doing it. We got all these things. If you're trying to do this thing and making some money, you got to be ready for them. You got to be ready. I go out there, I do what I got to do, and every customer that I've done something for last minute or whatever, they show their appreciation by giving me more orders. They start calling me directly. But if you can only do notary when it's convenient for you, especially when you have opportunity to be able to do it, they're going to pick up on that. So let me cut this thing off. 20 minutes. I didn't expect to talk again this long. Do your last minute notaries once a week for the month of December. Just take one. Last minute. Except if you're cutting, don't break up that cutting time. Peace.